Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throat, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march, it's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There was a time you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show to me, do you? Remember when I moved in you, the Holy Dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though we all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome everyone to our Fellowship for Today's Sunday service. I want to say thank you right away to Dangling Participles for that wonderful song. We love you so much. Love it when you join us for Sunday service and bring your music. Thank you. Welcome to everyone. I'm so glad you are joining us this afternoon. Give us a hello and write something in the comments so that we know you're here. We all love to have that community feel here at the fellowship. So just jump in and say hi. Let's just stop now and take a deep breath after our busy day, I invite you to close your eyes and let's take 2 deep breaths together. And breathe in and out. And just relax your body. Let your shoulders drop. Let the muscles in your face relax, and the rest of your body. As we just lay down all that we've been doing today until this point here at 4 o'clock, all the things that we've been thinking and doing and trying to accomplish, just lay that down for right now as we bring ourselves fully into this present moment. We center ourselves in this very precious present moment. And as we center and balance, we become aware so easily of this powerful, sacred life force within. And as we open our awareness to this magnificent force of love, we remember the magnificent beings, the beings of light and love that we are, inseparable, in unity with the divine, our source, the God of our hearts. And right now we immerse ourselves into unlimited, boundless love. Divine love, creative intelligence that is with us and present for us always, guiding us and sustaining us, empowering us. And together we leverage this power of our Creator, the Creator of all that is. And we lift the collective frequency into the highest realms of consciousness. Peace and joy and love. And from this energy of pure, true love, today with deepest gratitude to all those who have passed on from their earth experience in service to our country, we honor you and we thank you. You are not forgotten. And we join together to say, and so it is, and so it is.
O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. O great Spirit of love, giving freely, refusing none. O great Spirit of love, eternal goodness flows like a flood. Love is all is love. Join us in singing the music of one in all in one. No greater blessing neath moon and sun. No greater blessing. Oh, great Spirit, neath moon and sun. Oh, great Spirit, no greater blessing. Oh, great Spirit.
Thank you, Gary. You are such a shining, bright light in this world, and we appreciate you sharing your music with us. Thank you so much. Let's pause and take this time in our service to bless our tithes and offerings. We know here at the fellowship that abundance is the flow of divine energy. And A Course in Miracles teaches us that giving and receiving are one in truth. Such an important thing to remember. It's just this constant flow and circulation of energy going out and coming back to us. And we're so grateful to everyone for your generous donations. I invite you now to join me in our blessing of the tithes and offerings. The words are right there on the screen for you. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you again. Thank you so much. And now I'm really happy to introduce our speaker for this afternoon, our wonderful Bill Dietrich. We appreciate him so much. And so I just invite you to settle in, and we'll listen to his message entitled Spiritual Intimacy.
Hello, everyone. My talk today is spiritual intimacy. When I had the idea for this talk, I looked up the terms spiritual intimacy on the internet, and all I could find were books and articles on couples, because people think of intimacy as a couple thing, as Well, people think of it as sex. And so if you were expecting that today, I have to disappoint you because I'm not going to talk about sex. That's not really part of this talk, but maybe another time. Spiritual intimacy, talking about the terms. Spiritual means of the spirit, non-physical. It's of the animating principle or essence. It comes from the term spiritus, Latin term, which means breath. Intimacy means closeness, being fully present with, seeing into clearly. It comes from the Latin intimare, to impress, to make familiar, and also from intimus, which means inmost. We can look at this in terms of masculine and feminine. The law of gender says that everything in the universe expresses a masculine or a feminine side or a little of both. The masculine in us seeks freedom and release, and it finds it in ego death. How do we get ego death? Well, we get little ego deaths when we experience pleasure or success or victory. All of these provide little ego deaths in which we transcend the little anxious, weighted self for a few moments. But true freedom, the freedom that we seek, the masculine in us seeks, is freedom from fear. The feminine seeks surrender, to be completely embraced, enlivened, and energized in love. Surrender is also a form of ego death, where our little concerns are saturated in the nurturing power of love. True surrender, though, is not giving up or giving in. It's letting go and allowing love. The masculine then finds freedom released not from love, but within the boundaryless expanse of love. And the feminine surrenders not to another person, but to the boundaryless expanse of love itself. Spiritual intimacy then is where we find both freedom and surrender. We find closeness, we find connection, and we find it in being fully present. It begins with self-intimacy, being fully present with yourself and yourself. The small s being your personality as it expresses here in this life, the large S being the capital S being your true self, your higher self, God individuating as you. And we find this intimacy by accepting first what you feel without judgment. We have emotions that show up every day, all day. Accepting those, as opposed to judging them, is the beginning of intimacy. And not only then accepting, but embracing it. Embrace what you feel. Respond to your feelings with love. And then that way, you fearlessly get to know you. So you've all heard that there's two ways to feel, love or fear, but actually there's two ways to respond to how you feel. Many feelings, there are many emotions. The question is, what is your response to the way you feel? Are you responding with love, that is, you're accepting and embracing it, or are you reacting with fear, that is, you're resisting it, you're pushing it away, you're avoiding it? In human life, we tend to avoid. That's why we have so many addictions. When it comes to negative feelings, we don't want to feel them. We don't want to feel hurt. We don't want to feel abandoned, rejected, unwanted, unloved. All those feelings are traumatic for us, and so we avoid them. Calls for us to not avoid them, but to step up to them, to face those feelings, and to respond with love. If there's a part of me that feels unloved, then I can respond to that part of me by loving that part, by embracing it, by accepting it. And when I do that, instead of avoiding it, then it integrates into the whole. It becomes a part of me. It comes back into me as opposed to this separate self I've created that I didn't want to feel. So by accepting those darker parts of ourselves, we become whole. We become integrated. By pushing them away, we experience separation within ourselves, self-rejection. So we begin with intimacy by being intimate with ourselves. Intimacy with others, that is, be fully present with others. Listen, be aware of the assumptions that you make about other people and set them aside. Allow yourself to come to know what is happening with someone as opposed to thinking you already know. And this means we have to accept the feelings of others, and we respond to them rather than resist them. So often, I see this a lot. Somebody is upset, and what do people tell that person? Calm down. Now think about it. When you're feeling upset, isn't that the last thing you want to hear? Somebody to tell you to calm down? Or if you're angry, do you want somebody to tell you, you shouldn't be angry? Really? We feel what we feel, and we need to allow people to have their feelings and express them, as long as that expression is not violent against you or causing a great harm. But people have their storms, we accept them, and they blow over, and things return to a kind of normalcy. But when we resist other people's feelings, all we do is encourage them to reject them or project them. So intimacy with others is our willingness to see into someone else and accept who they are and what they're expressing. The third kind of intimacy would be intimacy with God. And what that means is to be fully present when you pray, when you meditate, when you affirm, you envision, or you study spiritual writings. Allow yourself to come to know what is next, as opposed to thinking you already know. That is how we are intimate with the divine all day. And that is stepping out of this place where we want to control everything, where we're judging everything, and allow the world and life and experience to arise as it does, and accept it and say, I wonder where this is going to go. And listening intuitively to how we need to respond. So this is spiritual intimacy then, is actually being in the moment. And it's also being able to see the divine in everything, in yourself, in others, in whatever arises. The awareness, the understandings that God is in all things and at all times is spiritual intimacy. We live in union and relationship. You exist in union with God, and you and God are one. You exist in relationship with God in that you experience yourself as an individual, yet you relate to God, your source. This is an interesting thing for me because if you read perennial wisdom from all the ages, and then if you read some of the things that are in what we would call modern physics, that is quantum physics from the last 100 years, Schrödinger, Heisenberg, Bohm, famous physicists, they all say the same thing. There's no such thing as an objective universe separate from you. It's all connected. We are all one. Think of it this way. You look up at the sun and you think of your sun as separate from you. That it's 93 million miles away and you're here standing on planet Earth. But the sun is shining on your skin, and that radiant energy is getting into your pores and it's affecting your skin. You can get a tan or a sunburn. Hopefully some vitamin D from that sun. So in a sense, the sun is not 93 million miles away from you, it's inside of you. And you and the sun are in this relationship. And you are also in union with each other because you're one in this process of you receiving the sun's rays. And the sun's rays, of course, there's billions and billions and trillions of rays coming here. They are all part of the sun. They're not separate from the sun. They're part of the sun. And in you receiving those rays, then, you become part of the sun. And if you think of things like that we are all connected, that you are part of everything, that you live in union and relationship, then that's how you create change in your life. Let's say you experience illness and you want to experience wellness. Then the more you can imagine wellness and think about it, the better your chances of becoming physically well, because you become one with the wellness. You put it inside you by thinking it and feeling it and allowing yourself to experience, even in the midst of your symptoms. So experiencing spiritual intimacy. You experience spiritual intimacy when you see yourself in union and relationship with your higher self, in union and relationship with others, and in union and relationship with God. As I said, perennial wisdom, modern physics teach there's no such thing as an objective universe. Everything is connected. Everything is one. This is not what the world teaches. This is not what science before the 20th century taught us. But it is what modern physics teaches us. It is what spirituality teaches us. A Course in Miracles, A Course of Love, mystical Christianity, Buddhism, mystical Islam, shamanism, all teach the same thing. How do we find? Well, you begin with willingness. You have the willingness to be free of fear, the willingness to surrender to love. And from willingness, you form the intention. You express your intention through practice. You say, I'm going to do it, and you adopt some kind of daily practice. As I've spoken before, my daily practice is to walk and do my prayer and meditation as I'm walking every morning. From intention, then you move to commitment. And a commitment is a decision. Once you decide, there are no moments of moral dilemma or temptation. When I do my morning walks, I don't wake up in the morning and say, well, should I walk? Or maybe I won't walk today. No, because I've already decided in advance. This is what I do every morning. I don't care if it's raining or snowing or doing anything else. This is what I do. This is my decision. I don't care if I have an appointment at 9 o'clock. This is what I do. And so there are no moments of decision. The only decision is, how do I fit it in if there's other things going on? If it's raining, I carry the umbrella or wait till the rain stops. If it's cold, I dress for the cold. But the decision, the commitment is a decision. And from willingness, intention, and commitment, we move to certainty. When you know that you live within the embrace, you live within the embrace of God's unconditional love, you take on a feeling of certainty. Being in union and relationship with God and knowing that God is love, then you live in the embrace. You are always being embraced. That gives you certainty, confidence. God is. I am. All is well. Practicing spiritual intimacy is when you come to rely on God, on Christ within. Seeking is over. You don't need to seek God. You don't need to seek wealth or beauty or love. You are wealth. You are beauty. You are love. You are God individuating as you. These things are not conditions that are separate from us that we're trying to get. We already are these things. That is what union and relationship means. That's what intimacy is. It's that connection. The Spirit of God is closer to me than my own skin, than hands and feet. It's in me, and I'm in it. We are one. Spiritual intimacy brings reliance. We're so often lost in our personal concerns. Your heart, this is a quote from A Course of Love, your heart has a different scope, a different view. It is the view from within the embrace, the view from love's angle. It's the view of the dying who realize nothing matters except love. Love is all that matters because love is all that is. That's it. If God is love and God is all there is, then love is all there is. And the only time we don't experience love is when we're ignoring that, or when we're imagining that love is not there, that it's not within us or it's not around us. But whatever we imagine, love is, and we are. We live in the embrace. Practicing spiritual intimacy. 3 ways for you to do that. Number 1, practice moments of silence and reflection throughout the day. What are your thoughts and feelings? What's going on in you right now? Are you avoiding feelings right now? Not that that's not okay, it's fine. I watch a good movie sometimes, and it doesn't I mean, usually it's good because it makes me feel, but it takes me out of my personal experience of life for that time. And that's okay, but I come back to my life. I come back and experience my own. The second thing, practice acceptance. Whatever arises within you. You're driving down the highway, somebody cuts you off, you get upset, you're angry. Be angry. Accept it. You don't have to catch up to that person and make a obscene gesture. You don't have to yell at them. But you can express your anger, let it run through you, and I think you'll find within 30 seconds or so you're over it and you move on. What happens with so many emotions like this is we tell ourselves that it's not okay to feel them, and then we repress it, or we end up projecting it out on the world, as opposed to owning it and just letting it run its course. Let your emotions run their course. Accept them, embrace them. And then the third thing is practice coming to know. Every time that you decide what something is, that it's good, that it's bad, that it's unfortunate, that it's lucky, whatever you decide, you are not practicing coming to know. You are not practicing spiritual intimacy. You are thinking you know, and you are placing your judgments on top of what is. The idea here is to stop judging, to stop thinking that you know because you don't. When you judge, you're saying to the universe, you don't want to know. I don't want to know what this is. I don't know what this is. So with coming to know, it's an openness. Something happens, you have an initial reaction, but then you step back and say, wait, let's see how this develops. And you turn within and allow your intuition to speak to you. Or you're feeling anger and you allow your anger to speak to you. What is this about? What is this anger telling me? What's going on here? What is the reason for this reaction? Where is this taking me? You let everything take you inside. And then from the inside, you pay attention to your intuition, to your inner voice. In practicing intimacy, then, we learn to see clearly. Because instead of looking at our image that's created by our judgment, we're seeing what really is. I'm seeing this other person for who they are and who they're being at this moment. I'm seeing myself for who I am in this moment. I'm seeing God as God is, everything, love, the embrace that I live within and move and have my being. That's the value then. We are fully present. We're not dipping back into the past or projecting into the future. We're here because we're intimate with this moment. Is about surrender. We practice surrender. We let go. We let go of judgment again. We let go of the need to be in control. We are not in control of what's going on out there. We're not in control of what people are, how people are responding or reacting. Our control is in what we choose to perceive, what we choose to do with our own feelings and our own thoughts. That's where we have control. And when we have control, we have influence. Because then we can say, what do I want to come of this? Where would I like this to go? What is the best thing that could happen for the highest good of all concerned? And in doing that, we are led to a more beneficial outcome for everyone. That's the hardest thing to do, I think, is to let go of that control, because we all want to feel this, like we have some control in our lives. And I think some of you know this, if not all of you, that when you let that go, when you step back and you say, you know what, I'm not going to control anything, I'm done. I'm just going to let it be, and I'm going to respond in the way that feels perfectly right. The freedom that you experience in that is exhilarating. And I'll give you one example as I close here. I helped my daughter purchase a car a little over a month ago, and within 3 weeks, I had it in the shop, and it cost over $1,100 to fix all the different things that were wrong with it. There was some deception in the sale from the car dealership, and there were things that should have been taken care of. I mean, if you're buying from a dealer that the car should be in good shape and things shouldn't be breaking down within 3 weeks. So I tried for a couple of days to get a hold of the manager of the automotive dealership, and I was unsuccessful. So finally, I got through to an assistant salesperson, the one who actually helped us purchase the car. And she listened to me, and she was very empathetic. And I said, so how about this? You give me an email, and I will send you a list of all the things that are wrong, all the issues that I just told you about, and you can print it off and share it with your manager. And she said, yeah, that's fine. So I sent it to her by email. And my thought was, look, I've already spent the money to fix the car. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm going to be honest and share what I feel and what happened, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what develops. 45 minutes later, the manager called me. And he said, yeah, I see that you had some issues with your vehicle. And I said, yeah, I'm sure you read through them. What do you think? And he said, well, I think that you should not have had that many difficulties. So I'm willing to compensate you for a good share of that. I said, okay, well, how much are you willing to compensate? Bottom line is, I spent $1,138 on fixing the car. He sent me a check for $1,138. Actually, I just deposited it today. And so I look at it this way. I could have called them up and yelled at them. I could have stormed in there. I could have done a lot of different things, but instead I just stepped back. I didn't judge. I just said, okay, there's a problem. I'm going to present the problem. We'll see where it goes. And I saw it as a win-win, however things turned out. And I was compensated, and life goes on. So we connected. That's whenever you connect with someone, there's an intimacy there of sorts. And that's where we find our best success, when we connect. You do your best when you operate from a place of connection. When you operate from a place of disconnection and separation, that's when we have problems. So I wish you, for this week, intimacy with yourself, with others, and with Spirit. Thanks a lot. Time for our meditation. Close your eyes if you wish. Feet on the floor, unless you're sitting cross-legged, that's fine. Spine straight, chin parallel with the floor. For best results, do the best you can. And breathe in, breathe deeply. Breathing, pulling that air down to your solar plexus, your stomach area, pulling it down, holding for a second, and then letting it out. Breathing in through the nostrils, if you can. Breathing out through the mouth, letting it out. With each in-breath, we are breathing in the unconditional love of God. With each out-breath, with each exhalation, we are releasing, letting go of all that is unneeded, of all that is not love. Breathing in, receiving the embrace of God's unconditional love. Breathing out, letting go of all those thoughts and feelings that are not of love. Letting go of our attachment. Accepting, embracing, letting go. With each in-breath, we become one with the Spirit of God. With each out-breath, we now move from releasing to expressing. With each in-breath, we receive the love of God. With each out-breath, we express the love of God. We extend it to others. With each in-breath, you are receiving God's unconditional love. You are being fed. And with each out-breath, with each exhalation, you are feeding the world. You are expressing love, extending love. We are now in a cycle of receiving and extending love. You live within God's loving embrace. You live and move and have your being in God's love, in the love of Spirit. Let yourself feel that love. Feel it now permeating your body, permeating your mind, extending outward. The love of God fills you, surrounds you, and emanates from you. You are a radiating center of this love. And as you continue in this state of receiving and extending love, you are a healing influence to the world. Whatever thought crosses your mind, your healing energy goes to it. As we breathe in and breathe out, we receive the love and we extend love. We, in this moment, are healing our world. We are healing ourselves. We are in intimate communion with God. We are in intimate communion with each other as we meditate together. And we are in intimate communion, each with our own self. All is one. We live in union and relationship with God, with others, with ourselves. Breathing in, feel the love. Breathing out, extend the love. Breathing in, all is love. Breathing out, all is love. And so it is.
Everything beneath the sun breathes like a harmonium. Pure perfection has begun, shining like a midnight sun. Out of darkness I have come. I see God in everyone. Let me be an instrument, guided by and heaven sent. May these grapes of pain ferment, alchemize to love's content. Ever be a sacrament, knowing God is my intent. God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. Rolling like a thundercloud, let me live my love out loud, standing for mankind and proud, baptized in a holy shroud. Peace be still and know me now, God is in all I have found. God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. Spinning like a prayer feels, turning like Ezekiel's wheels. Nothing like a kiss seals this spirit I've become. Knowing what I'm here for, rowing on to distant shores, flowing from the infinite, God in everyone. Spinning like a prayer feels, turning like Ezekiel's wheels. Nothing like a kiss seals this spirit I've become. Knowing what I'm here for, rowing on to distant shores, flowing from the infinite, God in everyone. Out of darkness I have come, I see God in everyone. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful service today. Thank you to Dangling Participles and to Gary Lynn Floyd for your beautiful music. And thank you, Bill Dietrich, for your message today. We appreciate you so much as well. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today. We love you so much. You are just so loved and so welcome here at the fellowship. And we hope that you are watching the services with us at 4 o'clock. But if you can't, if you haven't been able to join us on the live stream, you can join us anytime and just take part in this beautiful service. So thank you for being with us. I have a few announcements. I want to just tell everybody to pull out your calendars and write these dates down. Let's go out and join Reverend Sue Quinn on June 6th at 12:30 for the Nature Walk in Waldemar Nature Center. It's beautiful, beautiful out there. The trees are just gorgeous, and there's this beautiful pine forest that you can walk through that is just calm and peaceful. If you haven't already experienced it, please consider doing that. And we also are going to be welcoming Robert Dubiel on June 6th, that same Sunday, as our speaker. And then on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, he will be having private appointments with people who are interested. And please call Barb Kinsey or us here at the fellowship if you would like to make an appointment or find out more about what he'll be doing. And then also put on your calendar June 19th. That's a Saturday, 6 p.m. We're going to just look forward to coming together again in person for our summer solstice fundraiser. And we'll have some food and some music and probably a bonfire to sit around and enjoy the summer evening. So get those dates on your calendar and please participate. The affirmation for this week comes directly from Bill's talk, and it's very simple and easy to remember as you go through your week. This is it. I see me and I see you. I see God in you and me. We'll put that in the comments and in the e-announcements that go out on next Tuesday. So now is the time that we want to join together in our big virtual peace circle. We'll put out our arms and feel our neighbor's hands in ours as people from all over this globe join us in our peace circle, singing the peace song with us. and then we'll say our closing blessing. The words will be on the screen for you. Again, thank you for joining us. It's so good to have you with us, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday.